So today we're going to go and talk about the crossover category, and I feel as though this category is not a complete zero, right? It definitely could use more LRs, and I do believe that crossover's biggest problem is its best leaders, of course, that being the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s, that being Goku and Vegeta. Now, the reason why I say that is because a good amount of these cards for the 200 leader skill are not on Dragon Ball Heroes. If you take Dragon Ball Heroes right here and you compare it side by side to crossover, it's like, look at how much smaller the category gets, right? And you will want a good amount of these characters that are on crossover to get the 200% leader skill, but the only issue is that the 200% leader skill is only going to be given to the Dragon Ball Heroes characters. So the case and point for this category being crossover is why would they not just make the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s both crossover and Dragon Ball Heroes leaders, and then give them their 200 leader skill to, like, I don't know, something that's completely different. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Why don't they just give it to, I don't know, like Pure Saiyans to help out Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or like Hybrid Saiyans? Like, you can make him for Pure Saiyans, you can make him for someone completely different. I can't think of anything completely off the top of my head, but they could have easily swapped out the Giant Ape power for Vegeta's 107% leader skill and put it on his 200% leader skill for Dragon Ball Heroes, and they could have swapped out Goku's for either for a full power or a Pure Saiyan one, because I think that would have helped it out much more than what it actually is right now. Or this one's actually a tad bit better. Why didn't they just, let me actually get an example real quick before I say this. I don't want to sound stupid. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. Why don't they just go ahead and make him a time traveler's 200% leader skill? No? That would work out so well, because guess what? He's on time travelers. He's on time travelers. I mean, a good amount of these amazing defensive options are on time travelers. So to support this team and make it easier to run a good amount of these characters that are on crossover, you can throw them on the 200 leader skill that Goku would have, that being time travelers. I think this should have been replaced for time travelers. Now, sure, technically you do have Hearts' 200 leader skill to time travelers, Dragon Ball Heroes, and crossover, which I of course think is alright. I think Hearts' 200 leader skill is actually pretty alright. But the thing is that I think he could have had crossover too with his time traveler's 200 leader skill, right? It's like he could have been crossover, full power, time travelers, right? That could have been way easier. And then Vegeta's is really whatever. It's like you could just replace this. We could put Giant A power right here, and that would just be really it. But looking away from the leaders, I think this category does have quite a bit of options that are good, right? We stop at AGL. We do have this Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, who's a great defensive option. Meki Kabora, I think that's how you say his name. Meki Kabora is a very good option that I overlooked, and I saw a video on him, and this guy's actually pretty goddamn nasty. Who is another crazy option on this team that I completely overlooked last time? I mean, Great Saiyaman 3 is pretty goddamn good. The Supreme Kai of Time is really good. Golden Cooler is amazing, right? This Super Saiyan 4 Gohan is great. Pan is absolutely ridiculous. You do have, who else on this team? You have Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku, of course. You have Hearts. You have Cooliza, who people will say is overrated, but I think he's actually rated the correct way. I think he's good. He's obviously good. Who else do you have? And you do have this Super Saiyan Bardock that I talked about. All it takes is that one hit. That one hit, guys. That hit hurts, though. That hit definitely hurts. You do have Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, of course. Like, this team definitely has so many options. Like, all the options I pulled up, it's like there's so many units you can use on this team. But the only issue is that I think this team would have benefited off of either Goku or Vegeta being a time traveler's 200% leader skill, right? Because, of course, if this guy is not here for the 200 leader skill for crossover, then we really have to rely on these guys. And if we take a look at it, you are on time travelers, you are on time travelers, you are also on time travelers, you're on time travelers, you are on time travelers, you are, of course, you're on time travelers. Like, guys, all of these options that I pulled up on here are all on time travelers. So I think that that is the main issue with this team, is that if you gave this team a 200% leader skill to time travelers, like with this Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Goku, it's like it could have worked way more better. Like, he could have been crossover, full power, and his 30% to stats could have been time travelers. right? That's the main case and point of this video for crossover. I think the main issue is that the leaders are both not a 200% leader skill to time travelers, right? Because a good amount of the great options I pulled up for this team are all on time travelers. Essentially, like damn near everybody, right? So I think that is really all there is to be said about this team. This team is actually pretty okay. The only real issues with this team is that there is not really too many LRs, and the fact that the leaders are not that great for this team. But other than that, the options on this team are pretty good. You do have Meki Kabura, you do have Baby Janembu, who is okay, but I'm not really the highest on. You do have the Janembu, you have Golden Cooler, you have the Physical Super Saiyan Bardock, you got Weirus, you got who else? You got Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you got the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, you have Barla, who's pretty okay, you have Hearts. It's like the options are endless for this team for TURs, but the only thing is that the leaders are not really the craziest. But I really hope that Crossovers gets a wicked crazy LR. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. You guys are the best. I'll catch you guys next video, and I love you all. Peace.